In 2017, a 12-year-old jumped from an overpass, committing suicide, and killing a woman by the name of Marissa Harris in the process. Let's take a closer look at their lives. This is a closer look at their lives and their deaths. Was there a specific memory of a person who was brought through in the final moments of this 12-year-old who committed suicide of his life, the last moments of his life? If so, what was the person's sign? The person who came through, or the memory of the person, was likely to have been an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini person. And likewise, who did Miss Marissa Harris's guardian angel bring through in memory and or energy to comfort her in her last moment after this tragic event? This is likely to have been a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio sign. What is coming in as having been very important to this 12-year-old who jumped, committing suicide on Interstate 66? Leading up to his death. Healing was important. This child was not healing from something that occurred or from something physical, mental, or spiritual. And healing was first and foremost. And this child wasn't feeling healed at all from whatever was going on with him. What was important to Marissa Harris was coming in as having been important to her? Love, the growing love that she had in her life. She did have a boyfriend at the time, so those were deepening feelings of love that are coming in very clearly here. Let me see if I can get anything in depth on the 12-year-old as far as surrounding support systems or clarity in mental and physical, spiritual things going on. So I am getting that with this Page of Swords coming in. This Page of Swords could be representative of an air sign, such as Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. And let me go into depth. So essentially with the Page of Swords, usually the energy that's coming in is, this is all about someone who is smart and insightful, reading between the lines to discover the heart of the matter. This person, this 12-year-old, was wise beyond his years. And as it said, it takes a lot of horrible or horribly difficult things sometimes to make someone wise. Um, and being so young, this was possibly a lot for him to deal with. Again, though, this signifies that he was wise beyond his years with this Page of Swords. And looking into the energy of Marissa Harris, there is the King of Swords coming in. Now, swords can be representative of air signs, like I stated. So this could have been an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra connection coming in. Again, with the King of Swords, that denotes personal responsibility. So she assumed personal responsibility or wanted to assume personal responsibility for the betterment or the encouragement of others. That's what is coming in here. And she was headed towards harnessing the gifts and ideas of others and helping them to bring those out. She was working in a greater context of living, a greater and greater context. She was stern. That's the energy that is coming in here. And she was impartial. She was dependable. And this is the type of energy she had. She had that tremendous sense of personal responsibility to try to better the lives of others. And that's coming in with the King of Swords here. So that is further clarity on who she was. What would she say? She was privy to learning within her lifespan just about the importance of teamwork when it comes to efforts and making things happen. And what would the 12-year-old say that he learned or that he was able to comprehend during his lifespan? So this is about endings. So there was clearly something that he learned about endings that was shocking, or it sunk in for him, something that he really embraced about endings. So with death, transformation comes in. So he possibly was on the upper end of learning something about transitions and being transformed. And that stood out to him. That's what's coming in here. What was this 12-year-old put in a position to learn? So we looked at what he would say he learned and what was he in a position to have learned from what was going on. So something about danger. So this is about danger, calamity, things of that nature, things falling apart, being able to let go. So he was placed in a position to release something, quite possibly. It could be feelings. It could be something that he was holding on to. And that is what's coming in with the Tower. So to go into greater detail about the Tower's meaning, I just would like to say that the Tower is about releasing all preconceived notions as the Tower card breaks you wide open. This is from the Tarot Black and Gold Edition, the pamphlet that came in with it. It's about the aha moment waking you up. That is what he was placed in a position to learn some sort of aha, momentous lesson. And, quote, you may feel rattled to your core, but it is the only way to break you from your spell of misunderstanding, disruption, unexpected shock, collapse, blast, breakdown, release of what never fit to begin with, end of quote. So that is something that is very deep that he was dealing with. And death also came up in his mini spread, which is all about the paradox of beginnings and endings, and expiration followed by renewal. What was Marissa Harris placed in the position of learning within her lifetime by the divine? So the Chariot is coming in to play here. The Chariot is about coming through conflict in a way that is really on top of things. So there was something about conflict going on presented to her. And what else the Chariot stands for is moving forwards. It also is meant to remind you of a galore destination that you have in mind that you can adjust if necessary. This is about being propelled to do something. It's actually about being in the driver's seat, verbatim, being in the driver's seat from the Tarot Black and Gold Edition pamphlet. And she was in the driver's seat. So it's very symbolic of where she actually was, literally. And she was going the direction that she was choosing to go. And all of a sudden, this child collided with her vehicle. And this is conflict and impact and symbolism all coming together in a very real sense. Let me see if I can get a little more clarity, because this is coming through as very symbolic as well for what she was placed in a position to learn about conflict. And this is about stability. So being able to safeguard, being able to contribute to helping to pacify others who you're trying to counsel or who you come into contact with. Things happen so quickly a lot of times. With the Emperor, there's just a lot of stability as a vibe coming in. And the Emperor also denotes solid foundations, order, rules, structure, opinions, being headstrong, authoritarianism. It can stand for fatherhood. I feel like it can stand for motherhood as well. It's known to stand for fatherhood. And it's about building the world of your dreams. So She was learning more about foundations, the various foundations that people have at the base of their existence, who they are as people. Because many times, there are people who just, their foundation is so what's the word I'm looking for? It's so basically different than our own. That there's a clash there. For instance, there are those, and I know a perfect example of one person in particular who, and this is just to elaborate on what's coming in. This is what I'm getting, a memory of someone who told me that his mom actually took something from a store to give to me for Christmas. Well, it's the thought that counts, yes. However, this child had a different background than, say, other children may have had growing up. And so this child's coming from a different place. And this is just a memory, something that's coming in that is an example of what I'm talking about. So there's the authoritarian vibe that's coming in, and how it can sometimes open you up to finding out more about other people who their authoritarian figure actually would have chosen to do something that may or may not be something similar to what you would do or choose. And so it's about comprehending that. That's coming in as something that she was placing attention on. Let's see what we can learn as outsiders looking in to this traumatic occurrence. So this is about things being out of our control a lot of times. When we try to help, so the portion that we can't do anything about in relation to what's going on, this is something that we can trust with the divine, or a lot of people have it up for grabs, because this signifies that this is out of someone's hands. Just to let that sink in. So this is about what we can do nothing about on our end, on our personal end. We can do all we can, and then the rest is left up to fate. And that's what's coming in as a lesson or a reminder for us all to consider. When things are out of control, out of our individual control. We can't control the memories of others. We can't control their perspectives and things of that nature. That's what is coming to mind here. At this point, I'm going to begin the EVP session to see if any spirit guides of either of these individuals would like to speak on any of this or anything else related to them. Are any spirit guides present of either Miss Marissa Harris or the 12-year-old who committed suicide? What was going on with him specifically that he felt he couldn't handle at all? Is this symbolism in regards to the bell tolls for thee? Was this little boy traumatized? This adolescent? Was puberty just really very overwhelming to him? What specifically got him to the point where he was ready to jump off the edge? You know? Is there any insight that we could get to the families who have been affected by this from the spirit guides? What's going on with the young man's family and with Melissa Harris, with her family, that is, her boyfriend? I heard a female disembodied voice there. So the people who could be considered the boy's family, looks like there is some self-analyzation that's going on with those people who were closest to him, and there could be reevaluation and just time alone there coming in with the family of Marissa Harris. What I'm getting is just hard-working energy there, maybe throwing themselves into work. In regards to the boyfriend, just attempting to be satisfied with life. For the most part, that's what's coming in. Thanks for tuning in.